Have you ever wondered why bread rises or how sugar turns into that golden brown syrup we call caramel? What about beer? How does it get its bubbly fizz and rich flavor? These aren't just magic tricks, they're science experiments happening right in your kitchen. Today, we're diving into the science of cooking. Specifically, we'll explore 3 fascinating processes: baking, fermentation, and caramelization. By the end of this video, you'll understand the chemistry behind these everyday miracles and maybe even impress your friends at your next dinner party. Let's start with baking. When you mix flour, water, yeast, and salt to make bread, something amazing happens. The dough starts to grow, but what's really going on here? Baking is all about chemical reactions. One of the most important ones is called leavening. This is what makes dough rise. In bread, yeast plays a starring role. Yeast is a tiny organism, but don't let its size fool you. It's powerful. When you add yeast to dough, it eats the sugars in the flour. And like any living thing, when it eats, it produces waste. That waste is carbon dioxide gas. These little bubbles of gas get trapped in the dough, making it expand. As more gas builds up, the dough becomes light and airy. This process is called fermentation, and yes, we'll talk more about that later. But wait, there's more. Another key reaction happens when you bake the bread. Heat causes proteins in the flour like gluten to firm up. At the same time, starches absorb moisture and gelatinize. Together, these changes give bread its structure and texture. So the next time you bite into a warm slice of bread, remember, you're tasting chemistry in action. Speaking of fermentation, let's zoom in on this incredible process. Fermentation isn't just for bread, it's also behind some of our favorite drinks like beer, wine, and kombucha. So what exactly is fermentation? Fermentation is a natural process where microorganisms like yeast or bacteria break down sugars to produce energy. Just like in bread, yeast uses sugar as food and releases carbon dioxide and alcohol as byproducts. In beer, the alcohol stays, giving it its signature kick. In bread, the alcohol evaporates during baking, leaving behind those lovely air pockets. Fermentation doesn't stop there. Take kombucha, for example. Here, bacteria and yeast work together in a symbiotic relationship. They create not only carbonation, but also beneficial acids and probiotics, that tangy taste. It's lactic acid and acetic acid produced during fermentation. Fermentation has been around for thousands of years. Before refrigerators, people used it to preserve food. Think sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, and cheese. Not only does fermentation extend shelf life, but it also enhances flavors and boosts nutrition. Next time you enjoy fermented foods, thank the microbes, they're the unsung heroes of your meal. Now let's move on to caramelization. If you've ever made caramel sauce or roasted marshmallows over a campfire, you've witnessed this magical transformation. But what's actually happening when sugar turns brown? Caramelization is a type of chemical reaction known as non-enzymatic browning. It occurs when sugar is heated to high temperatures, usually above 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius. At this point, the sugar molecules begin to break apart and recombine in new ways. This creates hundreds of new compounds, each contributing to the complex flavors and aromas we associate with caramel. As the sugar heats, it first melts into a clear liquid. Then, as the temperature rises, it starts to darken. This color change signals the formation of new molecules like furans and maltol, which have nutty, buttery, and sweet notes. But be careful. Caramelization can go from perfect to burnt in seconds. Burnt sugar tastes bitter because even more compounds form at higher temperatures, some of which aren't very tasty. Fun fact, caramelization isn't limited to sugar. Other foods, like onions, undergo similar reactions when cooked slowly over low heat. That deep, savory sweetness, it's the result of sugars breaking down and browning. So far, we've covered baking, fermentation, and caramelization. Each of these processes involves unique chemical reactions that transform simple ingredients into something extraordinary. But here's the best part, you don't need a lab coat to experience them. Every time you cook, you're doing science. Let's recap. Baking relies on leavening agents like yeast to produce carbon dioxide, creating light and fluffy textures. Fermentation uses microorganisms to convert sugars into alcohol, acids, or gases, preserving food and enhancing flavors. Caramelization breaks down sugar molecules under heat, producing rich colors and complex flavors. So the next time you're in the kitchen, think about the reactions happening before your eyes. Whether you're kneading dough, brewing coffee, or roasting vegetables, you're participating in an ancient tradition of culinary alchemy. And now, enjoy the fruits of today's lesson. Thanks for joining us on this delicious journey through the science of cooking. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more science adventures. Until next time, happy cooking and happy experimenting.